The following video is intended for mature audiences. It contains horror elements, adult themes, and language that might not be suitable for younger viewers. Welcome back to another disturbing journey in the southern underworld. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like, comment, subscribe, and share this devilish delight with your horror friends and fam. Engagement is essential, and it helps our little channel grow. John Carpenter's Halloween has left a deep impression on the world of horror cinema. Its straightforward story, haunting soundtrack, and introduction of the terrifying antagonist, Michael Myers, have solidified its status as a timeless classic. Even 40 years after its release, it continues to strike fear into audiences. This groundbreaking film not only established the slasher subgenre, but also introduced us to Laurie Strode, who embodies the final girl trope and represents courage, resilience, and survival in the face of extreme terror. As a dedicated fan of the Halloween series, I am continually captivated by its perfect blend of suspense, fear, and character development. Michael Myers, his face hidden behind an emotionless mask and his pursuit unyielding, is one of horror's most mysterious and terrifying characters. He epitomizes pure fear, unstoppable and unreasonable. He is evil incarnate that cannot be contained. In contrast, is Laurie Strode, the heart and soul of the film, a character whose resourcefulness and determination deeply connect with viewers. Together they form one of horror's most iconic battles, predator versus prey engaged in an endless fight for survival. For any fan of the genre, Halloween is more than just a movie. It represents a cultural milestone. It transformed horror by moving away from supernatural elements toward a more realistic, yet deeply disturbing depiction of evil. Despite, or maybe because of, its simplicity, its impact is significant. Carpenter's Halloween stands as an unmatched example of creating tension, atmosphere, and pure cinematic horror. At the center of Halloween is Michael Myers, a character who goes beyond typical slasher villain stereotypes. Known simply as The Shape in the film's credits, Michael emerges as an almost legendary figure defined by his anonymity, silence, and total lack of empathy. From the first scene, where a young Michael coldly murders his sister on Halloween night, it becomes clear that Michael is no ordinary killer. He is pure evil. What makes Michael Myers so fascinating is the filmmaker's decision not to reveal his motives. Unlike many horror antagonists who are given humanizing backstories, Michael remains a mystery. He doesn't speak or show emotion. There's no clear reason behind his killing spree. This lack of explanation heightens his terror. Michael embodies the unknown, an unstoppable bringer of death that can strike without reason or warning. He personifies the boogeyman. The fears from our childhood nightmares come to life. Dr. Loomis, Michael's psychiatrist, provides our only insight into Michael's mind, even though he admits that understanding Michael's evil is beyond human comprehension. His chilling statement, "I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes," encapsulates what makes Michael so frightening. He isn't driven by revenge or passion. He's a force of nature, a predator whose sole purpose is to kill. This psychological depth, or rather its intentional absence, makes Michael Myers one of horror's most enduring villains. By leaving his motives unclear, Carpenter taps into a basic fear, the dread of the unknown. Michael represents the monster under your bed, the faceless killer in the dark, the unexplainable evil that cannot be reasoned with or stopped. It's this simplicity that gives him power and makes each silent step toward his victims even more terrifying. In the world of horror, Michael Myers is the embodiment of fear, while Laurie Strode symbolizes determination and resilience. Jamie Lee Curtis's breakthrough role as Laurie portrays her as the quintessential survivor, a character who withstands immense adversity and resists the evil that seeks to destroy her. What makes Laurie unique among countless other survivors is her relatability. She's not a warrior or a fearless heroine. She's an ordinary young woman thrust into extraordinary circumstances. Her vulnerability enhances her strength. Laurie's character is defined by her intelligence, resourcefulness, and protective instincts. Throughout the movie, she's shown as a responsible and caring individual, often babysitting for friends and looking after others. This nurturing trait plays a key role in her survival. When Michael begins his attack, Laurie instinctively protects the children in her care. This instinct to defend others boosts her courage to face Michael head-on. A memorable scene in horror cinema occurs when Laurie, hurt and terrified, finally confronts Michael at the climax of the movie. Armed only with a knitting needle and quick wit, she fights back against the seemingly unstoppable killer, a moment that encapsulates everything audiences love about Laurie's character. Despite being frightened and outmatched, she uses her intelligence to outsmart Michael, an act that solidifies Laurie as an emblem of perseverance, not because she feels no fear, but because she refuses to let it defeat her. Laurie's part in Halloween is significant due to its role in defining survivor archetypes within horror movies. Her survival isn't attributed to luck or coincidence. It arises from her tenacity, wisdom, and refusal to be victimized. In the years since Halloween, many survivors have followed Laurie's example, but few have replicated Jamie Lee Curtis's authentic portrayal of this relatable character. The evolution of Laurie from an average teenager into a symbol of resilience cements her place as one of horror's most enduring heroines. A key factor contributing to the terror of Halloween is John Carpenter's skillful direction. Despite a limited budget, Carpenter uses every tool at his disposal to create an atmosphere of fear that permeates the entire film. From the start, indicated by opening credits accompanied by a now famous score, the audience is plunged into a world filled with tension and unease. The genius of Halloween lies in its simplicity. Carpenter avoids relying on complex sets or shock tactics to provoke fear. Instead, he uses suggestion, preferring the threat of violence over actual brutality. Michael often lurks in the background, his presence felt even when not directly visible, a clever use of space and framing that instills paranoia, the constant fear that Michael could attack at any moment from anywhere. An exceptional feature of the film is Carpenter's use of a suburban setting. The peaceful streets of Haddonfield, Illinois, transform into a terror-filled landscape as Michael stalks his victims. The familiar backdrop of small-town life turns into a nightmare as the security associated with suburbia is shattered by Michael's intrusion. An effective contrast between normal life and terrifying events forms one of the movie's main strengths. It makes the horror more real and immediate. Carpenter's choice of music plays another crucial role in shaping the film's success. The Halloween theme, composed by Carpenter himself, is among horror cinema's most memorable scores. Its repetitive tune creates an almost hypnotic sense of dread, mirroring Michael's relentless chase. The score is used sparingly but effectively throughout the film, highlighting suspenseful moments and augmenting the overall unease. Halloween is a classic in horror cinema, primarily due to its understated approach. Unlike later slasher films, it doesn't rely on graphic violence or gore. Instead, Carpenter understands that the true essence of fear lies not in explicit brutality, but in the anticipation of what might happen. This idea is brilliantly executed with a masterful buildup of suspense and tension. Carpenter's minimalistic style can be seen throughout the film, from dialogue to character development. Halloween avoids long speeches and deep explorations into characters' histories, focusing instead on the present moment. The audience doesn't need to know why Michael Myers kills. It's enough to know that he does. This lack of information makes him even more threatening, as viewers are left to project their own fears onto his mysterious character. The visual style of the film also reflects this minimalist approach. Carpenter and cinematographer Dean Cundey use extended takes and wide shots to create an atmosphere of isolation and emptiness. The camera often focuses on empty rooms or hallways, building suspense as viewers wait for Myers' appearance. When Myers does appear, it's usually subtly, at the edge or in the background of a shot, barely noticeable but there. This subtle treatment distinguishes Halloween from later slashers that relied more on overt violence. According to Carpenter's philosophy, unseen horrors can be just as terrifying as visible ones, a concept he uses effectively. Halloween had a significant impact on the horror genre. It inspired many films featuring a faceless killer targeting a group of teenagers, usually during a special date or holiday such as Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street. However, what sets Halloween apart from these successors is its artistic subtlety. While many subsequent films focused on increasing body counts and levels of gore, Halloween stayed rooted in suspense, atmosphere, and psychological terror. Carpenter's dedication to creating an atmosphere of fear and unease, rather than shock and violence, has ensured the film's lasting appeal. The character Michael Myers has become a symbol in pop culture. His white mask, empty gaze, and silent demeanor have made him one of the most recognizable villains in cinema. Myers represents fear itself, an embodiment of the unseen evil lurking in our world's dark corners. As a fan of the Halloween franchise, I view the original 1978 film as an almost perfect example of horror cinema. It showcases the power of simplicity, the terror created by uncertainty, and the importance of atmosphere in generating fear. Myers is more than just a slasher villain, he is an icon of pure evil. Through the years, Laurie Strode has remained the ultimate final girl, as her courage and unwavering resolve continue to strike a chord with viewers. Halloween is more than just a film, it's a cultural landmark that reshaped horror and left a lasting mark on the genre. Despite many attempts to replicate it, none have truly captured its essence. For fans of horror everywhere, Halloween is essential viewing, a film that will continue to thrill and scare viewers for generations to come. In all aspects, Halloween is a work of art in the horror genre, a lesson in creating impactful horror films that demonstrate the power of simplicity. Halloween is a B-slasher teen horror thriller that is 1 hour and 31 minutes long and is rated R. The Southern Underworld gives it 5 bloody knives. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Thank you for watching.